Why do adults who can vote keep choosing corrupt politicians, knowing exactly what the outcome will be? Why do they keep falling for the same tricks, the same empty promises, the same false smiles? Every time they do, it's not just them who suffer the consequences, it's everyone. The people who never supported those corrupt leaders, the people who desperately wanted real change, are dragged down right along with them. And honestly, it's unfair. Why should those who voted with reason and foresight have to endure the misery caused by those who refuse to think critically? Why do the voices of the careless drown out the cries of those who actually care? The saddest part is how predictable it all is. These politicians don't even try to hide their corruption anymore. They steal public funds meant for healthcare, education, infrastructure, and disaster preparedness. They divert money that could have gone to hospitals, schools, and programs that feed the hungry. And because of that, people suffer. Families go without proper medical care, roads crumble, students don't get the quality education they deserve. In times of crisis, pandemics, earthquakes, floods, resources that should have been ready to save lives simply don't exist because they've already been pocketed. These leaders might not be pulling the trigger themselves, but make no mistake, their actions, or rather their greed, cause deaths. It's indirect, but it's still blood on their hands. And yet, supporters continue to cheer them on. That's what leaves me completely speechless. How can anyone look at undeniable proof of theft, negligence, and lies and still wave banners in their names? Supporters behave as though politicians are idols, celebrities to be worshipped instead of public servants to be scrutinized. They defend them endlessly no matter how deep the crimes go. It's baffling, truly baffling, that someone can be so blind. Some politicians don't even bother to hide their wrongdoings. They flaunt their wealth, mock accountability, and openly admit to shady dealings, and somehow their supporters twist it into a reason to admire them. It's like reality itself no longer matters to them. So, and what's worse is how this blind loyalty affects everyone else. Because when these people keep voting the wrong leaders into power, those decisions ripple out and poison the lives of everyone in the nation. They're not just voting for themselves, they're voting for us all. And their ignorance costs lives, dreams, and futures. It's not just about corruption anymore. It's about the culture of enabling corruption. It's about the normalization of theft, the acceptance of incompetence, the glorification of lies. Take a look around at countless other countries where corruption eats away at progress like a parasite. Ordinary citizens struggle every day, working long hours, paying taxes, trying to survive, only for their contributions to be stolen. Instead of development, they get stagnation. Instead of opportunity, they get oppression. And when someone dares to speak up, they're ridiculed, silenced, or accused of being too negative. It's maddening. People would rather protect the image of their chosen politician than face the ugly truth that their choice is harming everyone. And let's not ignore another group that's just as problematic. The people who choose not to vote at all, when you've finally been given the right to vote, a right people before you fought and died for, and you just throw it away. You're part of the problem too. Do you not realize you're affected by the outcome as well? Do you not realize that your silence, your inaction allows corruption to thrive unchecked? Sitting back and pretending you're above politics doesn't shield you from its consequences. The hospitals you rely on, the schools your children attend, the roads you drive on, the jobs you're trying to get, all of that is directly impacted by who holds power. By not voting, you're basically handing over your future, your rights, and your voice to those who will use it, and sadly, many of them use it for the wrong people. And then there's this other excuse that drives me insane. Well, they're the lesser evil. Lesser evil? Do you even hear yourself? Why should people settle for evil at all, in any form? Why is the bar so low that people willingly choose corruption as long as it's not as bad as the other guy? That kind of mindset is why corruption never ends, because people keep tolerating it in smaller doses. Instead of demanding good governance, instead of demanding leaders with integrity, people convince themselves that they have no choice but to settle. But here's the truth. If you demand better, if you stop tolerating evil, then better options will come forward. Good candidates exist. They're out there. But they won't stand a chance if the majority keeps clinging to the broken idea that the best we can hope for is less evil. No, we deserve good governance. We deserve leaders who actually care about people, not just power. Oh, I almost forgot another thing. People who let their votes get bought. Like, seriously, do you not see what's happening there? They'll hand you a couple of bills, a sack of rice, or some freebies during election season, and you think you're winning something. But the reality is they'll steal 100 times more than what they gave you once they're in power. That little gift is nothing compared to the millions they'll pocket later on. Oh, and it's not just money they're stealing. It's your future, your children's education, your community's healthcare, the very safety nets you'll be begging for when disaster strikes. You think you gained something by taking that handout, but what you actually did was sell your vote, your dignity, and your right to demand better. You basically told them, it's okay to rob me later as long as you feed me now. And here's the worst part. Politicians keep doing it because it works. As long as people keep selling their votes, corrupt leaders will keep winning. And the rest of us, those who refuse to be bribed, those who see through the lies, end up suffering too. It's maddening because this cycle will never end until people finally wake up and realize that the short-term gain is nothing compared to the long-term destruction it causes. And here's what people need to realize. History is screaming at us to pay attention. Over and over, nations have fallen into ruin because of corrupt leadership. Over and over, societies have crumbled when voters failed to demand accountability. Yet here we are, repeating the same cycle, as if we've learned nothing. History should be a teacher, a warning, a guide to do better, but instead, it's being ignored. And when history is ignored, tragedy repeats itself. People need to understand that voting isn't a popularity contest. It isn't about which politician can dance on stage, smile the brightest, or make the catchiest slogan. It's about who can actually govern, who has the integrity to put people before power. It's about life and death, survival and dignity. A single vote is not just a mark on a ballot, it's a decision that shapes the fate of millions. That responsibility should never be taken lightly. So why do people keep treating elections like a game? Why do they keep treating politicians like idols instead of demanding results? Why do so many just shrug their shoulders and stay home on election day as if their choice, or lack of one, doesn't matter? The consequences are staring us in the face. Corruption isn't just numbers on a stolen budget report, it's the child who couldn't get medicine because the hospital ran out. It's the family who lost their home in a flood because the funds for flood control were embezzled. It's the student who dropped out because there weren't enough teachers or classrooms. Corruption kills dreams, futures, and lives. This is why people need to wake up. Supporting corrupt politicians is not just a personal choice. It's a choice that drags an entire country into misery. And not voting at all is just as bad. It's handing your power away and letting corruption win by default. No matter how much their supporters defend them, no matter how much the apathetic pretend it's not their problem, reality cannot be denied. Eventually, everyone suffers, even those who thought they were safe in their ignorance. History must not repeat itself. It should serve as a lesson for generations, not a pattern to fall back into. We need to stop glorifying the wrong leaders, stop normalizing corruption, stop normalizing silence, and start voting with wisdom, with accountability, with courage. Because the future depends on it. The power to change everything is in the people's hands. The only question is, will they finally use it right? Or will they doom us all to suffer again?